Hi there, my name's Andy Hillier, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to play my fingerstyle guitar arrangement of Raeb's Lament from God of War Ragnarök. It's a beautiful little tune. I've done a full playthrough, so go and check that out. Go and have a listen first. I'll leave a link in the description and a card above. Have a listen to the full playthrough. I'm going to teach you the whole song. Just before I do though, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, give me a like on the video and leave me some comments in the comment section, including what songs I should do next. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, support the channel, and you want to print the tabs off for this, then I'll put it on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. My guitar is in standard tuning, and I've got a capo on fret number 3. The first line sounds like this. So to play that, open E with A2 and D2. We play them all at the same time. So E, A2 and D2. And then the open B string. And then into bar 2. Now the weird thing about this song is the bar, the how many beats per bar keeps changing. There's two ways I could have written this. I could have wrote it as a bar of 3/4 and then a bar of 4/4. So like going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through. But the way I've chosen to do it is write a bar of 6/4 and then 2 bars of 4/4. It equates to the same thing. It's just, for me, it was easier to read. Okay, so this bar, we've got 6/4 in. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it goes like this. So to play that, open E with E5 nearest to the floor, and then E7, open E, then E3, E2, and then an open B string. So bar 2 goes. And then into bar 3 goes back to 4/4. And it'll do this all the way through the whole song. A bar of 6/4, 2 bars of 4/4. And then, so bar number 3, you've got, which is so almost the same. Open E with E5, E7, E, and then E3. And that holds into the next bar. Don't play any notes in the brackets. They're just held on. And then there's an open B string at the end of bar 4. So from the beginning, you've got... Okay, and then into bar number 5, it starts the same. Open E string with E5, then E7, E, E3, then a B string. Then you're going to bend fret 9 up and down. Just a semitone, it's just like a little up and down bend. So it's fret 9, so it's where fret 12 normally is. But obviously we've got a capo on fret number 3, so it's where fret 12 normally is. So bend it up and down, then down to fret 7, which is open E and the E7. And then just at the end of the line there, you've got an open B string as well, which goes into the next line. Okay, so the whole of that first line, slowly, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And up speed. Okay, and then on to the next line. Similar idea. The first bar of the second line goes, well actually let me just play the whole line, goes. So it starts the same, low E string, and then E5 at the same time, then E7, E, E3, E2, then open B. So you first bar. And then the next bar is the same as what was the third bar on the previous line goes. So that's the first two bars are the same as what we had on the previous line. So you got the first 3 bars of that line go. And then it changes in bar 11, starts the same. E with E5, E7, E, E3, E2, and then you're going to play E5 and pull off to E3 and then E2. So E5, pull off to E3 and E2, and when you get to the E2 you're going to play the E string and then an open B string at the end. So the whole of that line goes. On to the next line, and we've got so for that, open E with E2, E3, and then E, B3, B2, then B. So you got. And then into the next bar, we play E with E2, E3, E, and then B3. Carry on into the next bar, and we've got B2, and then open B. So the first 3 bars you've got. Into the next bar, bar number 17, we've got. Which is E with E2, E3, then open E, then B3, E3, E2, back to B3. So bar 17 goes. Then bar 18, you're going to play the open E string with open G and open B, and then play D4, then open G. So the whole line goes. On to the next line, and it starts the same as the previous line. So the first 3 bars are the same. And then it goes back to bar 23. So bar 23, play the open E with E5, E7, E, E3, E2, and then E3, E2, and then you're going to play bar 24, this is kind of like C triad, which is A3 with D2 and the open E, and then go up 2 frets and play A5 and D4, and then play E2, E3, and then E5. So the whole of that line goes. On to the next line, and we've got so for that I'm adding an extra note in now, so we're playing open E with open G and E5 all at the same time, so 3 notes, then E7, E, E3, then E2 and D4 at the same time. Same note, just an octave apart. If you struggle to get that, just get rid of the D4, don't worry about it. And then play the open B string. So you've got... Next bar, again open E with open G and E5. Then E7, E, E3. Then a D4 in the next bar. So the first two bars you got. Next bar, 29, we've got. So open E with G and then E5, E7, E, E3, B, and then fret 9 on the E string and bend it up and down. Then go down to E7 with an open E, and I've also put a A7 on there as well. And then into the next bar, another A7, then D4. Okay, so the whole of that line slowly goes. On to the next line, and we've got... So for this, playing the open A string now with, I've put a D7 and E5 at the same time, then E7, then open E, B8, B7, then open B. So bar 32 goes. And then next bar, open A with D7, E5, then E7, E, B8, and then there's just an open G string in bar 34. So from the beginning of the line, first 3 bars you've got. And then into the next bar. So we've got open G string with A3 and E5. So A3 with the G and the E5 all at the same time. Then E7, then open E. And then I play the E3. I just put my first finger flat and play E3. And then I angle it to play the E2. So I'm playing E3 and then E2. So it's a bit tricky, maybe not the best way of playing it, but we've got... Then E5, E3, and then this is where I always have to jump my fingers around and play the open D string with open B and E2, and then B1, B3, then open E. So you've got... Okay, so the whole of that line we've got... On to the next line, and we've got... Okay, similar to what we've done before, open E with open G, then E5, E7, E, E3, E2 with a D4, then open B. So we've done that before. Next bar starts the same, open E with G, E5, E7, E, E3, then you've got a D4, and then starts the same, so open E with G and then E5, E7, E, E3, open B string, E9 bending up and down, then playing the open E with open G, open B, E7, and then the last bar we've got open E with open G, and then we play B3 with E7, then move up to fret 5 on the B string. So we've got, so the whole of that line we've got. On to the next line, and we've got so for that open A with E5, then E7, E, E3, E2, and then B. So you go. Then the next bar starts the same. Open A with E5, E7, E, E3, then an open B string. So the first two bars go. Then the next bar, again we've done this before, A3 with E5, E7, E, E3, E2, then E5, E3, open D string with E2, B1, B3, then open E string. So that's all stuff we've done before. And then bar 50 we've got, which is A2 with D4 and A2, G2. So my first finger's barred. Then I'll hammer on my little finger onto fret 4 on the G string, and then play another G4. So it's, and then we've got A3 with D2 and open G. Then A5 with D4 and G2. Then A5 with D4 and G4. So we've got. Okay, so the whole of that line slowly got. On to the next line, more of the same. We've got. So open E with open G, E5, E7, E, E3, E2, then B, then open E with G with E5, E7, E, E3, and D4. Done that before. Then same in the next bar. Open E with open G, E5, E7, E, E3, then B, E9, bend up and down, and then play E7 with the open E. Then there's just a, which is G5, and then open D with G7. So the whole of that line goes. So for that, A3 with E5, E7, E, E3, then E2, open B string, and then A3 again with E5, E7, E, E3, then playing G, then playing B, and then B3 in bar 61. So the first 3 bars you've got. And then into bar 62 we've got. So open D string with B5 and E5, then E7, E, E3, E2, E5, E3, you could do a pull off or play it, and then play open D string with B3 and E2, and just hold them on for 2 bars. So that line slowly you got. And then the last line, we've got. So for that, first bar we've got fret 2 on the A string, I'm using my first finger, second finger on B3, third finger D4, this finger on G4, and the open E string as well. Then we play E2, so just bar that first finger down. And then we go back to that same chord. Then E2, E3, E5, and then C major 7. So just A3, D2 with open G and open B. And you can kind of wiggle your fingers up and down the strings. And then play the chord. And that's the whole song. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed that lesson and you've enjoyed my fingerstyle arrangement of the song. Hopefully you've checked out the full playthrough, so go and have a listen to that. If you have enjoyed it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, leave me some comments in the comment section, let me know where in the world you're from, what you thought of the video, what you think of the game, and any other songs that you would like me to do lessons on. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, support the channel, and you want to print the tabs off for this, then I'll put it on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Well, thanks for watching this. I do appreciate it. I've been Andy Hillier, and I'll see you next time.